For decades, we've been told that blood pressure numbers should stay the same throughout our entire lives. But what if I told you that the ideal blood pressure target you've been aiming for might not actually be ideal once you pass a certain age? Here's what's fascinating. Researchers have discovered that what works perfectly at 45 may not be what your body actually needs at 65, 75, or 85. And yet, almost no one explains why this changes. The surprising part? This isn't about your blood pressure being bad. It's about understanding what your aging body is actually trying to tell you. Stay with me, because near the end, I'll share a simple question you can ask your doctor that changes everything about how you think about your numbers, even if you've been managing blood pressure for years. Before we go any further, I'd love to hear from you. Where are you watching from today? And if you're comfortable sharing, what's your age? It's truly wonderful to see seniors from all corners of the world learning together. Type your city or country below. I always enjoy reading where everyone is tuning in from. And while you're typing, I'm curious. Have you ever felt confused about what your blood pressure numbers should actually be? Maybe your doctor mentioned new targets, or perhaps you've heard conflicting advice from friends or family. Go ahead and share your thoughts in the comments. Your experience might help another senior who's wondering the same thing. Thank you for being here. Now, let's dive into something that affects millions of seniors every single day, yet somehow remains one of the most misunderstood topics in aging health. In the next 20 minutes or so, you'll discover why the blood pressure advice you received at 50 might not apply the same way at 70. One common mistake seniors make when checking their numbers at home. And it can make readings look worse than they actually are. A surprising reason why lower is always better isn't necessarily true for older bodies. What researchers have learned about balance, falls, and blood pressure targets after 65. And a simple conversation starter for your next doctor's visit that puts you in control of your health decisions. Make sure you stay until the very end, because the final insight is often the one seniors wish they'd learned years earlier. But you won't have to wait for that. If something in this video surprises you or makes you think differently, leave a quick comment. I genuinely love reading your insights and learning from your experiences. And if you're finding this helpful already, a quick tap on the like button helps other seniors discover this information too. Thank you for that. Understanding what blood pressure actually measures. Here's something seniors rarely hear explained clearly, but it matters more than you might think. Blood pressure isn't just one number. It's actually two numbers working together. The top number measures the force when your heart pushes blood out. The bottom number measures the pressure when your heart relaxes between beats. Think of it like a water pump in a garden hose. When the pump pushes, pressure goes up. When it rests, pressure drops. Your heart works the same way, all day, every day. Now here's what's important. As we age, our blood vessels naturally become a bit stiffer. It's not damage, it's just what happens over decades of use. Like a garden hose that's been in the sun for years, it doesn't flex quite as easily as it once did. This stiffening is why blood pressure often rises gradually with age. Your heart has to push a little harder to move blood through vessels that aren't as flexible anymore. Does this sound familiar? Maybe you've noticed your numbers creeping up over the years, even though you haven't changed much about your lifestyle. If that's your experience, type yes in the comments. If this is new information for you, type new. I'm curious to see how many of you have noticed this pattern. But here's where it gets interesting. And this is what most people don't realize. Why normal changes with age. Almost no one explains this part clearly, and it causes so much confusion. For years, doctors used one standard blood pressure target for everyone, 120/80. You've probably heard that number your whole life. And for younger and middle-aged adults, that target makes a lot of sense. But here's what researchers discovered. What's ideal for a 45-year-old body doesn't automatically translate to a 75-year-old body. Think about it this way. When you were younger, your blood vessels were flexible, your heart was strong, and blood flowed easily to your brain. Even when you stood up quickly, your body could handle lower pressure without any issues. But as we age, several things change. Your blood vessels stiffen slightly, as we just discussed. Your body needs a bit more pressure to push blood up to your brain, especially when you stand. And your kidneys, which help regulate blood pressure, work a little differently than they used to. None of this means something is wrong with you. It's simply what aging bodies do. Recent research suggests that for many seniors, especially those over 75, slightly higher blood pressure might actually be protective. Not dangerously high, but not as low as the traditional targets either. Why? Because your brain needs consistent blood flow, and when pressure drops too low, you might feel dizzy, lightheaded, or unsteady on your feet. Here's a reflection pause for you. Have you ever felt dizzy or lightheaded when standing up? Maybe when getting out of bed in the morning or standing up from a chair? If yes, comment yes. This is more common than you might think, and blood pressure plays a role. Many seniors experience this and often don't realize it could be connected to their blood pressure targets. Let's keep going, because the next part often surprises people. The balance between too high and too low. This is where most seniors get confused, and honestly, I don't blame them. You've probably heard that high blood pressure is dangerous. And it is. Over many years, consistently high pressure can strain your heart and blood vessels. But here's what's less talked about. For older seniors, blood pressure that's too low can also cause problems. When pressure drops too much, your brain might not get enough blood flow. This can lead to dizziness, confusion, fatigue, and most seriously, falls. Think about this scenario. You're sitting comfortably in your favorite chair, reading or watching television. Your blood pressure is stable. Then you stand up to walk to the kitchen. In a younger body, blood vessels quickly adjust, squeezing to push blood up to the brain. But in an aging body with stiffer vessels, that adjustment takes a moment longer. If your blood pressure is already on the lower side, you might feel woozy for those few seconds. For seniors, falls are one of the biggest health risks. And research shows that blood pressure that's too low, often from medication that's too strong, can increase fall risk. So the question isn't just, how do I lower my blood pressure? The real question is, what's the safest, healthiest range for MY body at MY age? Does this change how you think about your numbers? If it does, drop a comment below. Your insights help other seniors who are navigating this same question. Let me give you some practical context in the next section. What recent research actually shows. Almost no one talks about this openly, but it's important you know. Major research studies in recent years looked specifically at seniors over 75, and what they found was eye-opening. For some older seniors, especially those who are frail or have balance issues, aiming for very low blood pressure targets actually led to more problems, including increased falls, dizziness, and fatigue. On the other hand, seniors with very high, uncontrolled blood pressure face their own risks over time. So researchers concluded that for many older adults, especially those over 75 or 80, a moderate approach often works best. Not too high, not too low, somewhere in the middle that keeps your brain well supplied with blood while protecting your heart. What does moderate mean? Well, it varies person to person, which is why this conversation with your doctor matters so much. For some seniors, that might mean a target of 130/80. For others, especially those who are very active and healthy, 120/80 might still be perfect. And for seniors who are frilier or have frequent dizzy spells, something like 140/90 might actually be safer. There's no one-size-fits-all answer anymore. And that's actually good news, because it means your care can be personalized to your body and your life. If you're learning something new here, consider tapping the like button. It helps other seniors find this information. And drop a comment sharing where you're watching from. I always love connecting with viewers from around the world. But most seniors actually do the opposite of what's coming up next. The home monitoring mistake. Here's something that trips up so many people, and once you know it, everything makes more sense. Many seniors check their blood pressure at home, which is wonderful. It gives you valuable information between doctor visits. But here's the mistake. Timing and position matter more than most people realize. Let's say you just finished a brisk walk around the neighborhood, or you're feeling stressed about something, or you just had your morning coffee. You sit down, strap on the cuff, and check your pressure. The number comes back higher than expected, and suddenly you're worried. But here's the thing. Blood pressure naturally fluctuates throughout the day. It rises when you're active, stressed, or have just eaten or had caffeine. It drops when you're relaxed, resting, or sleeping. For the most accurate reading at home, sit quietly for at least 5 minutes before checking. Rest your arm on a table at heart level, not hanging down, not up in the air. Don't talk during the reading. Avoid caffeine, exercise, or stressful activities for 30 minutes beforehand. Take 2 or 3 readings a couple minutes apart, then average them. Many seniors skip these steps and end up with readings that don't reflect their true resting pressure. Then they worry unnecessarily, or worse, adjust their medication based on inaccurate numbers. Here's a question for you. Do you check your blood pressure at home? If yes, comment yes. If not, comment no. I'm curious how many of you are monitoring at home. And if you do check at home, let me know, do you follow those steps? Or is this new information? Your answer might help another senior who's doing the same thing. Now, there's one more thing about home monitoring that surprises people. The white coat effect and why it matters. You might have heard this term before, white coat syndrome, or white coat effect. It refers to something very common, blood pressure that spikes at the doctor's office, even though it's perfectly normal at home. Why does this happen? For many people, going to the doctor creates mild anxiety. Maybe you're worried about what the doctor will find, or you're nervous about needles, or you simply feel stressed in medical settings. That stress temporarily raises your blood pressure. The reading at the office might show 150/95, but at home, you're consistently around 125/78. Here's why this matters for seniors. If your doctor only sees those higher office readings, they might prescribe medication you don't actually need. Or they might increase your dose when your pressure at home is already fine. This is where home monitoring becomes so valuable. It gives your doctor a fuller picture of what's really happening day to day. If you experience white coat syndrome, let your doctor know. Bring in your home readings, written down or stored in your blood pressure monitor's memory. Many modern monitors even have apps that track your readings over time. Your doctor can then make better decisions based on real-world numbers, not just one snapshot taken in a stressful moment. Does this sound familiar? Have you ever had higher readings at the doctor's office than at home? If yes, comment yes. You're definitely not alone. Let me share something else that often gets overlooked. Medication adjustments as you age. This is something many seniors don't realize, but it's incredibly important. The medication dose that worked perfectly for you at age 60 might be too strong at age 75 or 80. Why? Because as we age, our bodies process medications differently. Your kidneys and liver, which filter and break down medications, work a bit more slowly. This means medication can build up in your system more than it used to. Additionally, if you've lost weight over the years, or if your activity level has changed, your medication needs might have changed too. Many seniors continue taking the same dose year after year, simply because no one suggested reassessing. Meanwhile, they're experiencing dizziness, fatigue, or frequent lightheadedness, all signs that their blood pressure might be dropping too low. Here's what you can do. Talk to your doctor regularly about your medications, not just when you're having problems, but as part of routine checkups. Ask questions like, do we need to adjust my dose as I'm getting older? Are my symptoms related to my blood pressure medication? Could we try a lower dose and see how I feel? Your doctor should welcome these questions. They want you to feel your best, and sometimes that means fine-tuning medications as your body changes. If you've ever wondered whether your medication dose is still right for you, comment below. Let me know your age and city if you're comfortable sharing. It helps other seniors see they're not alone in asking these questions. There's still more to uncover, and the next one might change how you think about your daily routine. Lifestyle factors that actually help. Here's something truly empowering. There are simple, daily habits that support healthy blood pressure at any age, no matter what your current numbers are. And the best part? These aren't extreme changes. They're small, realistic steps you can start today. First, movement throughout the day. You don't need intense exercise. Even gentle walking. 10 or 15 minutes after meals helps blood flow smoothly and supports your heart over time. If walking is difficult, seated exercises or moving your arms and legs while sitting can still make a difference. Second, managing stress in small ways. Chronic stress keeps blood pressure elevated. But here's the good news. Even 5 minutes of slow, deep breathing can help. Sit comfortably. Breathe in slowly through your nose. Breathe out slowly through your mouth. Do this a few times a day, especially when you feel tense. Third, what you eat matters, but it doesn't have to be complicated. Focus on adding more vegetables, fruits, and whole grains when you can. Cut back on heavily salted processed foods. You don't have to be perfect. Small improvements add up over weeks and months. Fourth, stay hydrated. Many seniors don't drink enough water and mild dehydration can affect blood pressure. Keep a glass of water nearby and sip throughout the day. Fifth, sleep well. Poor sleep raises stress hormones and affects blood pressure over time. If you struggle with sleep, talk to your doctor. It's worth addressing. If you're already doing one of these things, share which one in the comments. Let other seniors know what's working for you. And if you're going to try one new thing tomorrow, tell us which one. Your commitment might inspire someone else. Now, here's something most people misunderstand about aging and blood pressure. What your body is really telling you. Almost no one explains this, and it's one of the most important pieces of the puzzle. When your blood pressure rises with age, it's not necessarily your body failing. In many cases, it's your body adapting. Remember what we talked about earlier? Your blood vessels stiffen slightly, and your heart needs to push a bit harder to keep blood flowing where it needs to go, especially up to your brain. That rise in pressure is your body compensating. It's trying to protect you, in a sense. Now, does that mean you ignore high blood pressure? Absolutely not. Very high, uncontrolled pressure over years does cause problems. But it does mean that a modest, gradual rise might be your body adjusting to natural changes. The key is finding the balance, supporting your heart without over-suppressing the pressure your aging body actually needs. This is why working closely with a doctor who understands aging is so important. They can help you navigate this balance, adjusting medications and lifestyle habits so you feel strong, steady, and clear-headed, not dizzy, tired, or weak. Does this change how you think about your body and aging? If it does, let me know in the comments. Sometimes a simple shift in perspective makes all the difference. And if this video is helping you understand things more clearly, a quick like really helps other seniors find this information too. Thank you for that. But there's still one more important insight, and it may surprise you more than anything else we've discussed today. The myth about perfect blood pressure. Here's the big myth that causes so much unnecessary worry. There's one perfect blood pressure number, and if you're not at that number, something is wrong with you. But here's the truth. Blood pressure exists on a spectrum, and what's best for you depends on your age, your overall health, your medications, your activity level, and even your personal history. Two 75-year-olds sitting side by side might have different ideal targets. One might thrive at 125/78. The other might feel best at 135/85. Neither is wrong. Both are managing their pressure in a way that keeps them feeling strong and healthy. For decades, medicine treated everyone the same. One target, one approach. But modern research recognizes that seniors are individuals. Your body is unique, and your blood pressure management should reflect that. This is incredibly freeing when you think about it. You're not trying to hit some arbitrary number that doesn't account for your life. You're working with your doctor to find the range where you feel your best, energized, steady on your feet, clear-minded, and safe from falls. Now it makes sense, doesn't it? This is why small, personalized adjustments in daily life and in your medical care can feel so powerful. You're not fighting your body, you're working with it. Has this changed how you think about your numbers and your health conversations? Drop a comment below. I truly read every one, and your thoughts often lead to new video ideas. And if you have a friend or family member who's also navigating blood pressure concerns, consider sharing this video. It might give them a new perspective too. So far, we've covered why blood pressure naturally changes as we age, why lower is always better isn't necessarily true for older bodies, how to check your blood pressure accurately at home, why medication needs often change over time, and simple lifestyle habits that genuinely support heart health. But there's still one more thing, and honestly, it's the most practical, empowering tool you can use at your very next doctor's appointment. Stay with me, because this final insight is something many seniors wish they'd known years earlier. The one question that changes everything. Here it is. The next time you're at the doctor discussing your blood pressure, ask this. What blood pressure target makes the most sense for my age, my activity level, and my overall health? This simple question shifts the conversation. Instead of accepting a generic target, you're opening the door to a personalized discussion. Your doctor might say, well, you're 72, you're active, you have no major balance issues. Let's aim for 130/80. Or they might say, you're 78, you've had some dizzy spells, and you're on 3 medications. Let's aim for 140/85 to keep you steady on your feet. Either way, you're now part of the decision. You're not just passively following orders. You're collaborating with your doctor to find what works for you. Here's a follow-up question that's just as powerful. How will I know if my medication dose is too strong or needs adjusting? Your doctor can then explain what symptoms to watch for: dizziness when standing, unusual fatigue, lightheadedness. If you notice these, you'll know to reach out and discuss adjusting your dose. Finally, ask, should I be monitoring my blood pressure at home? And if so, how often? This shows you're engaged and proactive. Your doctor will likely appreciate your initiative and give you clear guidance on how to track your numbers effectively. These questions put you in the driver's seat. Your health is a partnership between you and your medical team, and you have every right to understand and guide your own care. I'd love to hear from you. Will you ask one of these questions at your next appointment? If yes, comment yes. If you're going to try something else we discussed, tell me what it is. And if you want, share your age and where you're watching from. It's inspiring to see seniors from all over the world taking charge of their health. No matter your age, whether you're 65, 75, 85, or beyond, your body can still improve. You can still feel stronger, steadier, and more confident in your daily life. Progress doesn't come from doing everything perfectly all at once. It comes from consistent, small steps. A short walk, a moment of deep breathing, a conversation with your doctor, a home blood pressure check done correctly. Each of these steps adds up over time, and before you know it, you're feeling better than you have in months or even years. Be kind to yourself. Celebrate the small victories. And remember, improvement is always possible, no matter where you're starting from. You're doing great just by being here, learning, and taking an active role in your health. That's something to be proud of. If you enjoyed learning about blood pressure in a way that's clear, senior-friendly, and empowering, I'd love for you to subscribe to this channel. I share videos like this regularly, simple, helpful information designed specifically for seniors. And before you go, I'd love to hear from you one more time. What part of today's video stood out the most? Was it the information about changing targets with age? The home monitoring tips? The questions to ask your doctor? Or maybe it was something else entirely? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're going to make one small change tomorrow, maybe taking a short walk, or checking your blood pressure more carefully, or simply booking that doctor's appointment you've been putting off, tell me what it is. Your commitment might inspire another senior who's watching this right now. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.